Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and we've had some crazy leaks and we know the tech specs of what the Zoom GT Cut 2.0 is supposed to be. Also, we have a look at maybe the new Kyrie. So they call this the Kyrie Infinity, even though it's the Kyrie 8. I guess it's just the infinity symbol, and like 8 sideways is infinity, so I'm guessing that's why they called it the Kyrie Infinity. So is it going to be the Kyrie 9? And also, is it going to be Kyrie's last signature shoe with Nike? Because Kyrie was having some problems with Nike earlier in the year, right? So is he going to switch companies or is he going to stay with Nike? We don't know yet. And also, we have a new leak of the brand new Kyrie flight trap and some other leaks as well. So let's get all of that out of the way. So first of all, we have the Nike LeBron Witness 7. Yeah, cool. I never a huge fan of the Witness line. Well, actually, no, the Witness, I believe, what was it? The 5 was pretty nice, but the 6 was, I don't like Air Max, and I don't know what it is with LeBron, but LeBron really likes Air Max. So, I mean, of course, it's just my opinion, but yeah, Air Max just, it makes the overall shoe like really bad for court feel, makes the overall sole super stiff as well, and impact protection just isn't that nice, and it's just overall stiff. Step in comfort isn't great. So anyways, yeah, the Witness 7 is probably the same exact, oh, it looks like the same exact outsole and midsole. So as per usual, they're probably, you know, recycling the midsole and outsole, and the upper is just different, right? So yeah, as far as the aesthetics go, I mean, the Witness 6 looked amazing, and the 7 doesn't look as good in my opinion. We have kind of like this Lakers colorway, and also this like red colorway, right? So it's the same exact shoe pretty much. Also, something that I am kind of curious about is the Jordan 37, right? So as far as the tech specs go, so on Nike, right, NikeNews.com, where they have all the release details for their shoes and all the tech specs, they have like the official like tech specs on that website, right? And obviously it's by Nike. So I took a couple of screenshots, right? And it says the cushioning setup includes a full-length zoom strobel and an additional 4-foot zoom air unit for extra responsiveness, right? But we have some very close-up shots of the Jordan 37 from Conqueror 21. Shout out to him. He takes some really nice photos, by the way. And I'm guessing this is a 4-foot, right? So obviously he removed the insole, and we can see a zoom strobel unit, pretty much the same exact one found in the Kyrie Infinity. And that's what the leaked images, or actually the tech leaked image was, right? So remember when this image came out and it was leaked, it said 4-foot zoom strobel directly underfoot and another 4-foot zoom bag double stacked, right? But in the tech specs, it says full-length zoom strobel, so I'm like very confused as to what it is. And obviously Conqueror has the actual shoe in hand, so maybe Nike's wrong with the tech specs. I mean, it wouldn't be a first, right? They've been wrong before. So I'm guessing the Jordan 37 is gonna have a zoom strobel unit like the Kyrie Infinity, but also another zoom unit underneath that, double stacking that with the Formula 23 foam in the heel, obviously. So just something to consider, right? That's something that I found kind of interesting. Also, Giannis Antetokounmpo was wearing the Zoom Freak 4. We have this all black colorway, which actually looks pretty sick. Still don't like how it looks as far as like the materials go. It looks super cheap. And we also have some other colorways, like the actual official picture. So this colorway is like a white with some green on it. It definitely does look a little bit better. But still not a huge fan of it, right? Like I said, the material looks so damn cheap. I just don't, Nike, please stop doing us like this. You know what I mean? The quality, I feel like should be a lot better, especially it's like Giannis Antetokounmpo, you know what I mean? I guess his shoes have been on the cheaper side of things, but give us some better materials, you know? Also, we don't really know what the foam is still. There is a pretty cool, like, kind of reminds me of like a fish scale pattern on the heel on the foam. So maybe it's like React or something, we still don't know. And of course we have the zoom units in the 4-foot. They can kind of like see through the outsole, like on the bottom of the shoe. So that's pretty cool as well. Next, we have another picture of the LeBron 20. So this is actually the LeBron 20. Everyone is saying it's the LeBron 20, like all the news outlets, Sneaker News, Soul Collector. So I'm guessing this is a LeBron 20, which is crazy because LeBrons have always had a crazy cushioning setup like Air Max or Zoom, but this is such a departure from the LeBron line, you know what I mean? Which is really interesting to see. As far as the foam goes, it just looks like a regular Phylon. It doesn't even look like React or anything, and it doesn't say zoom anywhere on the shoe, or actually just from this angle. The material looks very supportive, but like not very nice. Also, the lining of the shoe looks pretty nice. So it looks like a leather material, which is very interesting. We have an oversized swoosh, or basically like a double swoosh. And it's just a very simple looking shoe. I like how it looks actually, you know? So there's that. All right, so now let's get on to the Zoom GT Cut 2.0, right? So shout out to Sneaker Highway 23, right? So we actually have a dismantling of the shoe, like a picture of it, which is wrong, I think, right? So if we look at the actual dismantling, we have the outsole, all right? It starts with the outsole, and then we have the foam. We don't know what the foam is. Hopefully it's like a softer foam because it is like a fully exposed midsole, which I really do like, especially comparing to the original one, because I mean, I guess a little bit of the foam is exposed right here, but it's a really stiff midsole. There's no compression really at all. So it felt a little clunky when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court. Obviously that's just me nitpicking. It wasn't super clunky, but I would much rather like prefer, I don't know, something a little bit smoother like the 2A2, you know what I mean, where the actual midsole compresses. But anyways, above that foam we have a drop-in React midsole is what it looks like, right? And then on top of that we have a full-length Zoom Strobel unit. So when I first saw that, I was like, that's weird. Like, why would you put a full-length Zoom Strobel unit on top of a drop-in React? You know what I mean? So first of all, would you be able to take out the drop-in, right? I mean, drop-in of course means you can take it out, but would you be able to take that out with the full-length Zoom Strobel unit on top of it? And even if you could, what's the point of the React? You know what I mean? It reminds me a lot of like, I think it was a KD11 where you had the full-length Zoom unit and then the React, right? I believe it was. I think it was the 11. And then so it's like you felt the crazy Zoom unit, but then you couldn't really feel the React just because you already feel something crazy like the Zoom unit, right? So that was kind of weird, right? And then we can see another dismantling like of all the parts of the Zoom GT Cut 2.0, which is really, really cool. And if you look closely, we can see a hex pod, right? So if you remember, there is a Zoom unit, like a rectangular Zoom unit that's bottom loaded into the shoe here in the original Zoom GT Cut. But the Zoom GT Cut 2.0, so shout out to IMBB Shoes, but he actually has a video on this, right? So when we take a look at the shoe, the actual Zoom Strobel unit is the same as the original Zoom GT Cut, right? It's underneath the React drop-in is what it looks like. But the actual, like the original Zoom GT Cut didn't have like that cloth over it. It was just the Zoom unit, right? But in the 2.0, it looks like there is a cloth over it, like the Jordan 36. I don't know what the cloth does, but sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Also, the traction looks very cool, right? So in the forefoot, we have like a really aggressive, it kind of looks like a, I don't know, some like monster took like a bite out of the forefoot, and then there's a little bit of herringbone, like a very enlarged herringbone. The rubber looks very durable and hard, which is a good thing. And throughout the entire outsole, we also have like triangles, which is kind of weird. It also says air zoom in the middle of the outsole. The traction looks very, very nice, right? But also looking at the drop-in midsole, it looks pretty much the same. One thing I don't like about the drop-in in the 2.0, comparing it to the original, is that there is like a lining material on top of the React. Just because, you know, this foam in the original GT Cut, it's a very like sticky material for your sock. So it kind of like helped grip your sock and foot, and just felt a little bit better for me for lockdown. And this lining material probably isn't going to be as sticky as the React, so I don't like that as much. But yeah, it's just a drop-in React. But if you look underneath it, there is a hex pod underneath the React. So actually, I think it's a little bit better of a setup than the original Zoom GT Cut, just because the heel unit was underneath the Zoom Strobel unit and the React, so you couldn't really feel like the double stacking in the heel too much. But with this setup, even though the hex unit is smaller than the Zoom GT Cut heel unit, it's right underneath your heel pretty much. Oh, I guess it's just React and then that unit and then a Zoom Strobel unit, so it might feel like pretty crazy in the heel, right? And also another thing that I like about the Zoom GT Cut 2.0 a little bit better than the original one is there is foam, right? So if you look at the actual shoe, there is foam. And I mean, like I said, there is a little bit of foam, but there wasn't a whole lot of compression from the actual, like this part of the shoe, like, you know what I mean? But in the 2.0, it looks like there is a lot more exposed foam, which I like. So it might actually be a little bit smoother for heel to toe transition. Like I said, we don't really know what the foam is, but I do like the actual setup of the cushion. It looks very, very nice. And as far as the material goes, the material also looks a lot nicer than the original one. The original one was like, I mean, it was super supportive and all that, but I don't know, it wasn't like super comfortable, right? But the 2.0, it looks really thin, it looks very minimal. It also looks like a Flyknit, you know? Maybe they're bringing Flyknit back, which I like. So as far as the aesthetics go, yeah, the original one looks way better, but for performance, it looks like the 2.0 might be better, right? And also for the weight, the 2.0 looks like it's gonna be a lot lighter. The original one wasn't too light. I think it was like 13.19 ounces. That's definitely not heavy, but the 2.0 definitely looks like it's gonna be a little bit lighter as well. So I am very excited about this. All right, next we got the Kyrie Flytrap 6. So yeah, this is Kyrie Irving's budget shoe or takedown model that Nike has. And yeah, it looks pretty good, I guess, but it looks very, very, very cheap. I mean, Flytraps are like 80 bucks if I remember correctly. So as far as the traction goes, we have a solid white rubber outsole on this colorway, and it looks like a very cool pattern. I like it. It looks super aggressive, and also the grooves look pretty thick, so it looks like it'll be durable as well. And for the cushion, looking at it from the back, yeah, the Phylon looks super stiff. It does say Air Zoom in the forefoot, so it's probably like a very small rectangular zoom unit in the forefoot. Hopefully it's top loaded, well, we'll have to see on that. And as far as materials go, materials look super cheap as well. But overall, it looks really cool though. I like the way the shoe looks. But as far as the cushion goes, it doesn't look very promising. And for the materials, it also doesn't look very good as well. And last but not least, we have the Kyrie 9, right? Maybe it'll be called that, but that's what they're saying this shoe is, or it's rumored to be the Kyrie 9, right? So it says Air Zoom Strobel right here in the kind of like in the toe box. And is it going to be the same as the Kyrie Infinity? We'll have to see on that. But the Zoom Strobel unit in the forefoot was absolutely insane. It's super crazy. I liked it, but it was a little too much for me sometimes. And as far as the foam goes, the foam looks super nice as well. It's very exposed. It's not caged at all. But hopefully they're using like Cushlon, maybe React, probably not. We can see Kyrie Irving's signature in the foam as well in the heel, which is kind of interesting. And also another interesting thing is the ankle area. The ankle area looks very weird, right? So there's a little bit of a cutout and there's a little bit of stitching. So I wonder, like, what are they trying to do? It looks like a low top kind of, but if you look closely, there's there's a material there, right? The swoosh is oversized and the material looks kind of cheap, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a synthetic, very thin synthetic material. I mean, it looks like it'll be very thin though, which is a good thing. And also as far as the lateral counter goes, we have, you know, in the front of the shoe, like in the forefoot, we have, it looks like a rubber material, and that black part looks to kind of like come up to act as a sidewall. And then the foam looks like it acts as a sidewall, and we have the swoosh as well. And there's probably a heel counter as well. Also on the tongue, it looks like, remember in the LeBron 19 with the Air Max units in the tongue, which were super useless? This new Kyrie looks like the Air Max. It looks like the same thing, right? But it looks a lot larger. So hopefully it feels very comfortable on top of your foot, but we'll have to see on that. I mean, honestly, the leaked pictures never look good. But I don't know, it's kind of grown on me. When I first saw it, it looked really crappy, like super cheap. But now that I look at it again, it looks pretty cool. And as far as the tech goes, hopefully it's a little bit better. You know, the cushion, I am hopeful as to what foam they're using. Hopefully it's like Cushlon or React. But you know, I wonder how much padding is going to be in the ankle area, right? As far as the overall material goes, it looks super thin. But for the tongue and ankle area, I mean, I really like the Kyrie Infinity. It was super cozy. But this shoe looks a lot more like on the minimal side of things. So anyways, those are the leaks. I'm super duper excited about the Zoom GT Cut 2.0 and the Kyrie Infinity and the Jordan 37 and what else? The LeBron 20. I mean, there's so many shoes coming out. But tell us what shoes you guys are excited about down in the comment section below. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.